Well, now begins the next part of this lovely little fun storm we've been going through. Today will be some relief, and same thing for tomorrow and maybe even into the weekend. But now you got to deal with upcoming warming temperatures by like Monday. And then how do you handle that with your rooftop? Well, you better clear it off, right? Is that where we're currently at?
I'm at an impasse here because I also don't want to aggravate my roof. It's a newer roof, and we haven't had any signs of any moisture or ice backup or ice damming because it's a ranch-style home, so it's relatively...
Yeah, your ranch should be okay because the snow will come off that.
Yeah. But we've got these
if you have
massive...
anything that doesn't
like
have a great angle, a great peak, like sheds or sunroom, that's what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, the massive chunks of ice at the top of the gutter is what...
By the way, I brought vodka. I just came from the train, and you have to have a bottle of vodka on the train.
Did you get in? When did your train just pull up like an hour ago?
No, we got in late last night.
Oh, gosh. That's so funny. Well, you can never get on the train without it.
You cannot get on the train without vodka because you never know what's going to happen. You might have to disinfect your hands. That's possible.
You might have to be stuck outside of Moynihan 2 minutes away for 90 minutes.
That was 90 minutes. It was just brutal.
It's baffling.
But it is what it is. So we have a lot to get to today. And Megan is in studio this morning. And Megan, the contest, Armageddon Snow Contest, is going very well. We're getting a lot of pictures.
Got a lot of great photos.
And I got a bunch, too, that have sent in via email. And there's some really amazing photos out there of a lot of snow.
Jaw-dropping.
And if there's that much snow on a roof, you probably are in a situation where you need to kind of get it off.
Yeah.
Off the roof.
Like how much is on the building here?
There's a lot on the building here, right? This thing could come right down. Probably not. Not
today.
At least this is a nice peak.
Yeah, do not put that energy out there, Bill.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Knock on wood.
I do think we're okay. But you have anybody with a building that doesn't, that doesn't have that great angle. Obviously, that's pretty rough. On the program today, a bunch to get to. Ryan Nobles will be on later on this morning, and that is unique today because Ryan will be on at about 8:40 this morning, and somewhere in the 8 o'clock hour, there's a story about radio.
Oh, that's today.
And it'll be today on the Today Show.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Neato.
You can explain what that is. By the way, Megan, there are bagels from New York City here.
Which I'm going to get into in a second here. Because
no, they're all mine. I will fight you all.
So, I mean, this is a pretty cool thing that they went to a very reliable source, a knowledgeable source on the industry of radio and where it's going. There was a elite camera crew here just last week to interview Mr. Keeler here.
So the question, apparently, and I think it's Boys to Men that are also going to be on this piece.
Oh, good.
The apparently the artists think that they should be paid by radio stations to play their music. Now we play some music, and that means we have to pay ASCAP and BMI, and maybe CSAC. All three of those are licensing companies that license for, and then they pay the artists. And they pay the publisher of the music. The artists don't get paid that way. The artists, we're promoting their music, really. You promote their music, they get to go on concert and fill arenas. They sell records. They do today, believe it or not.
Still, yeah.
But, the streaming and all that, downloads, and all of that is how they have been paid for years and years and years. Now they're saying, we want radio to pay per play.
Get out of here.
Yeah, which is what they knew. I think they do with streaming services. So I, of course, would be very much against that. I think we all should be very much against that.
Were they trying to kill the medium?
It would.
Literally.
It really would.
Radio is the last free medium and last free version of entertainment. If they do that, you're going to have a lot of radio stations in the red.
Well, especially, although there is an accommodation supposedly for smaller stations and smaller, single-owned radio stations, but even that, they can barely make it to begin with. But we're going to add more fees on that. Anyway, that was what the story. That is what the story will be out on. And our good friend Ryan Nobles is doing the story, and it features us, technically me.
Yeah.
So in the story, but Andrew should be in some B-roll as well.
So Boys to Men, they're going to be the counter argument here, and they could just go on tour. I mean, it'd be nice to see a Boys to Men reunion tour if they're really strapped for cash.
One of the lines that I really hope they utilize is one of the lines that I said was, if you ask any artist, I don't care how long they've been in the business or if they've made it, there's that one moment that's really exciting about driving down the road and hearing their song on the radio.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they want us to pay for that experience. We have to pay for that.
And how much are they going to be asking? It's not going to be a couple of pennies for play as Spotify and Apple used to do.
It probably would be.
Yeah, I mean, they can't realistically. I mean, nobody can pay for that.
It's probably what they're probably asking for is something similar to what they do with Spotify, and that's usually like a penny or 2.5 cents or whatever their deal is. But still, that would amount to a lot of money, especially for our stations down the hallway that play all music. So that's what the story's about, and it is going to, unless there's breaking news, which that could happen any second these days.
Knock on wood.
It'll be on the Today Show later today. Our AM station is off the air currently, but they're working on it.
The engineer's working on it.
FM is on the app. You can download the app if you're listening to that right now. And YouTube is on. Just search Keeler live stream. And I guess I don't know why I'm saying it, because if you can't hear us, you wouldn't be able to hear me saying this.
You're right.
But just in case...
But those that are on the other medium can let their friends know. Yeah,
spread the word.
One word I want to spread, actually 2 words I want to spread this morning to my mother. Happy birthday, Marlene.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
Do you answer the same? Were you at her house at 4 this morning putting up balloons? And because since I've known you, she has shown up on your birthday at the radio station. I come in and there's like streamers everywhere and balloons and.
Well, she loves birthdays a little more than I do, but we want to wish her a happy one today because she's the greatest.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday. Let's see. Syracuse. Davy. This team is, I think they've just gotten to the point where Syracuse has, the players are like, you know what? We've had enough of this. We're done. We want to be done. We don't want. Do you want to play in the tournament, the ACC tournament? Nope.
No, don't want to do it.
Nope. What do you want to play in? Oh, the NIT would be fun. Nope.
No way.
This team ain't going anywhere.
No, it's bad.
They're going to make the ACC tournament.
I know.
But if they lose to North Carolina State next Wednesday, they're off for a week.
And then the tournament.
No.
Oh no.
They play Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
They don't play until next Wednesday.
How many games do they can't have many games left?
They have 4 games left.
4 games remaining.
Yes, and they play.
What if they lose all 4? Do they?
They fall down to the bottom of the barrel. They won't even make the ACC tournament.
Well, that's my point. There's no guarantee they're going to make the ACC tournament. Right
As of right now, they are.
Yes,
They'll play on Tuesday.
But there are 4 games left. Who do they play on Tuesday?
Well, that's the first day of the tournament. They'll play in the play-in on Tuesday.
Who do they play next?
They play North Carolina State.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Which North Carolina State is just below them.
Yeah. Well, those are the teams Syracuse is. They're just losing to everybody.
This team is bad.
They had a 16-point lead.
Right.
It was right after the half. I turned it on because I'm like, well, let's see what they're doing.
J.J. Starling didn't do nothing.
It was 53-53, and I shut it off because I knew they could not. That was going to be – they've blown their lead. Now it's 53-53. This team is going to blow this game.
They did.
And they did.
The tire blew, and Pittsburgh inflated it and brought it back.
Yeah. Wow.
Exactly.
There is some so I want to talk about the dangerous work environment inside our prisons right now, and it's probably worse since what happened in Marcy. We'll speak with Nate Locke, who's a New York State Corrections Officer. But also, there are strikes that are going on around New York State, and that in itself is dangerous. The union does not support those strikes, but it's happening and it's spreading around the state. To the point now where the governor is talking about bringing in the National Guard to replace some of those, especially in those prisons where the number's getting down too low. So this whole system is a mess, and the COs, the people who are working in these prisons, are saying enough is enough. This work environment is dangerous for all of us, and I kind of feel like that probably lent to what happened in Marcy, although that seems to be a culture that was deep-rooted and had been going on for quite some time. Anyway, we'll get into all of that. This morning we'll speak with a professor from Hamilton College who they authored the refugee COVID-19 study. We'll speak with them about that, how COVID-19 affected people, including minorities and refugees and all of that. And Ryan Schmell is coming up in just a few minutes. The Social Security chief resigning over DOGE and their push to get data and, in some cases, information on private citizens. And are they looking to slash Social Security in the budget? We keep hearing that there are people 150 years old that are getting Social Security. I imagine there are probably cases of that happening. But I would assume it's rare. Every once in a while, you see somebody has been arrested for stealing from welfare or stealing from Social Security. So-and-so died, and the daughter, the granddaughter, it's always a woman. Kidding. It's not always a woman.
Well, that's what Deeds in New Hartford, I think, claimed.
They end up, they end up continuing to collect the Social Security. Well, obviously that is illegal. So, but you probably in the United States could come up with a couple of sheets and start reading off cases where there are probably dozens and dozens of these cases. But in a country this size with the number of people who are on Social Security, I don't think that percentage is a very large percentage. But you know what? The way to handle it is let's just cut the whole God blessed thing. Let's cut it out. Let's get everybody to resign, and that'll fix it. Or will it? We'll find out. But because I got to tell you, though, the good news is that Elon Musk is brilliant. This is the conversation I had with some moron on the train yesterday. Brilliant. I don't know what you're thinking, you people. He only knew that I was from New York. He took a train out of New York and just got a conversation going with me. And I'm, you know me, I really don't want to get into it. But don't get me to that point because I've got vodka in my bag.
Instead of drinking it, you're going to take it and go whack.
Could be.
And vodka in your belly.
That bottle is a bottle you could use absolutely
that's half
weapon.
full.
Yeah.
The vodka's half full. You got to look at it that way.
I'm certainly, I have to be awake in case the train flips.
Right.
And these days, anything could happen, right?
Anything could happen, yeah.
So that's all of what's going on today. So good morning. If you're sending in photos, now would be the time to grab your photos. The Armageddon snow photos. You can go to the story on our website at WIBX950.com. Today I'll put up some of the photos that we're getting that are sent in via email, but they're also coming in through the app, which is probably, Megan, the easiest way to get the pictures in, right?
Absolutely. And then we'll have your name and your number so your personal information is with us and not out in the ether.
We don't sell it. We don't sell your personal
Unless
information.
the price is right.
But if we can make money off your photo, well, we might.
Andrew, is that why you have such a nice gold watch?
That's right.
Let me break. Andrew will update where we are with news. And again, this is that time where you start hearing creaks and cracking sounds on those buildings with more flat rooftops. And the only thing I would say is if you're in fear that you have a building that is about to have its roof collapse, do be aware that when the roof collapses, it comes down on whatever is underneath it. So if you feel it's dangerous, you probably should not be underneath that roof. Just something to think about, I guess. Andrew updates the news coming right up at WIBX.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
At Steve Ponte Chevy in Herkimer, we'd like to thank our first responders, active military, and veterans,
as well as healthcare employees and education employees.
Not only is Chevrolet offering $500 in savings towards the purchase of your new Chevy, but Steve Ponte Chevy is going to match that with an additional $500 for a total of $1,000 in savings as our thank you to you.
So together, let's drive and see why our customers always say it's so easy to do business with Steve Ponte Chevy on Route 28 in Herkimer.
Customer must qualify for educator, military, veterans, first responder, and healthcare discount. Must take delivery by February 28, 2025. See salesperson for details.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time, 6:38. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, single digits, 2 degrees here in Marcy under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. A building at Hudson Forest Equipment on State Route 12 collapsed around 6:16 Tuesday, prompting a response from the Barneveld Fire Department. Crews arrived to find a 60 by 120 shipping and receiving building down with an active propane leak. Firefighters quickly secured utilities and confirmed no further hazards. No one was inside at the time, and the rest of the complex was unaffected. The scene was turned over to the building management after 30 minutes. Barneveld Fire Department, led by Chief Kevin Culk, responded with multiple units, saying our thoughts are with the Houdon family, the department said, recognizing their long-term support. Former President Barack Obama is going to be visiting a college campus in central New York. He's scheduled to take part in an event called A Conversation with Barack Obama at Hamilton College in Clinton, April 3rd. The speech is free and open to the public, but students and staff at the college will get the first shot at tickets. The public can reserve any leftover tickets starting in March. A band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is coming to Utica this spring. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are set to perform at the Stanley Theater on Friday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. The group entered the Hall of Fame in 2015 and is best known for hit songs including Bad Reputation and I Love Rock and Roll. Seats go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at the theater box office and through Ticketmaster. And a man has been charged with a DWI after he was found asleep in a tractor trailer on the New York State Thruway. New York State Police say they responded to reports of a tractor with a plow blocking the exit ramp on Interstate 287 on Saturday night. When troopers responded, they found 47-year-old Kleber Giovanni asleep behind the wheel, and he had a blood alcohol level of 0.22%, which is more than twice the legal limit. He's facing a slew of charges, including aggravated DWI, driving without a license, and operating an unregistered tractor. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time, 6:40. Here's your forecast.
Little, if any, additional accumulating snowfall in the forecast, even in some of the bigger lake effect snow areas that we did see pile up 3-4 feet of snow in the last couple of days, some more, some less. Now we're into partial sunshine. We'll deal with the cold with a flurry or passing snow shower today in the teens. Single digits tonight, North Country below 0. Maybe a few flurries or snow showers tomorrow with a high near 20. Meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Mostly cloudy and 2 degrees here in Marcy. It is 6:41.
Davey, on mic here. I'm getting a message here this morning from Richard that says, correction, you are wrong.
Wrong.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, what did I say?
That Syracuse, the most Syracuse was up was 11 points, not 16, but they did have the lead. Is that true?
Yes, but it was a 7 at half. It was 7-point lead at half.
Yeah, but he said they were never up by 16.
Well, I read 16 on one of the national sites.
Oh.
And I'm just taking what I read.
Which is what they tell you early on. Stop reading. Don't read. Why are you reading? It's
Fake
wasting
news.
time. You get a lot of fake news in there. Let me check and see what Syracuse.com has to say. Dun, 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 dun. Who wrote this story?
What is it? A headline embarrassment?
Mike Waters.
Yeah.
Syracuse builds early lead, but it doesn't hold up and lost to Pitt. At midpoint of the first half of Syracuse game against Pittsburgh here at Peterson Event Center, the Orange held a 22-6 lead over the Panthers. Yeah, that's 11 points. Or is it?
What was the score?
22-6. Richard, whoa, Richard. I think Davey's right.
It says Syracuse opened up on a 16-6 run and led 41-34 at the break.
Well, that would be 10 points. Get that off the bagels. That would be 10 points. And for God's sakes, there's a bug in the studio. We're all right. You're just lucky you didn't come in with a snake on the bananas I brought.
Or spiders.
Davey. According to Syracuse.com, 22-6 was their lead. 22 minus 6 equals what?
16.
16. Richard. I think, no one puts Davey in the corner and says he's wrong. So I believe in this case, Davey is right, Richard. 16 might be the amount of snow you got last night at your house.
I got snow up the... at my house.
You have more than 16 inches of snow at your house. How much have you gotten? And are you worried about your roof?
I am.
A lot of that going on
trying to find
today.
somebody.
I'm going to be, you know what? I'm going to be out there on my own today.
I can't get up there. I'm afraid of heights and I'm afraid of ladders, and we have a metal roof. So if I went up there, I slide right down.
Easy now. We don't want that to happen. Maybe there's somebody out there that does the service. So stand by. 211, Davey. You ought to call 211.
The reality is
they'll hook you up.
There are a lot of roofs that because of the massive amount of snow that we've had,
they're in jeopardy.
If you fell, you're not going to get hurt.
No. You may hit a little ice. About 6 inches in, you might hit a little ice.
My future in-laws, the snow banks are literally up to the roof. You don't even need a ladder.
I had the vision last night of getting out on our roof and shoveling it off and having the roof come down. So I'm playing this out in my head. What would you do if the roof came down? Because a lot of things, this is kind of a leaning roof. So it has a slight lean to it. And if it came down, it would come down from the house, so the backside of it. You could get sucked right down in there and get pinched in there. That might be not good. So hold on for dear life if the roof comes down. But you're going to have padding. You're going to have all that snow as padding.
You're gonna be fine.
I think you're going to be just fine. When your roof caves in and you're on top of it, you're going to be just fine. Don't take my word for it. Quick break, and we'll come right back at WIBX.
You work hard for a living here in the Mohawk Valley. You make a difference. You leave your mark. You deserve a financial advisor who works hard for you.
Local, prudent, and trustworthy. Van Meter & Van Meter are your full-service financial professionals. I'm Chris Van Meter, and I've spent my life helping people with financial planning, investing for the future, managing their wealth, planning their taxes, thinking about their legacy.
And I'm Dave Van Meter. Our team offers you the deep bench of financial professionals you deserve. We have the education, the experience, and the tools to make a difference for your future. Visit us at VanMeterLLC.com.
We're Van Meter & Van Meter. Call us at 315-823-9200 or visit us in Little Falls, Schuyler, or Palatine Bridge.
Securities and advisory services offered through Cattery Grant & Company Incorporated, a registered investment advisor and member FINRA SIPC. Van Meter & Van Meter LLC and Cattery Grant & Company Incorporated are separate entities.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
All right, I got to say, Richard on fire this morning. Really.
Like liar, pants on fire, fire? Or?
Richard says, we dodged a bullet yesterday when the snow band never dropped south over us. Camden got it all with another 2 feet of snow. You got that much, Davey? I know you're not in Camden, but you're over in that area.
I'm in Floyd, not Camden.
I know that. I just said that.
Richard has him
I am
angry
in Floyd. I do not live in Camden.
Now, first it was Poland. Now it's Camden.
Only losers live in Camden.
No, I have a very good friend that lives in Camden, and I'm not going to make fun of Camden.
Okay, all right.
And I'm not making fun of Poland either.
I think
Poland on the other hand.
Greeley Ford used to live in Camden.
Yes, he did.
I live in Floyd, which is
superior, probably to Camden.
Well, Rome,
just a little.
Floyd and Rome and Holland Patton area is where I live.
How much snow did you get yesterday?
It snowed all day. I snowballed about 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, they probably got close to 2 feet of snow. Another 2 feet of snow.
I'm so sick of
it. It's unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. Yeah, if you think you have banks and you're in, wherever you are, try driving out there to Holland Patton and take a look. And then if you think that's impressive, go a little northwest and go up to the Tug Hill Plateau and you'll see snow like you've never seen it before.
If you want to see snow, go over to Westernville to my sister and my brother-in-law's to the farm and my sister's house.
How much do you think they have?
They got a lot. My sister was talking to my mom. They can't even see the Amish farm up the field.
Okay. All right. Well, that is a problem.
If I'm wrong on that, my brother-in-law can clarify if I'm wrong.
No, Richard is okay with that. He said the Amish cannot be seen from your brother's house. Brother-in-law's house.
I have to say that Deeds in New Hartford, good morning, Deeds, he is admitting, I did claim that. Have you ever reported on a man stealing from cheerleading or Pop Warner? That's why I said that. Inconvenient truth.
Because I think a lot of times the treasure is oftentimes given to a woman, but not always.
Not always.
Richard said here, he sent me a screenshot of Spectrum.com, which is where he got his information. Pitt rallies from an 11-point deficit to beat Syracuse 80-69. Richard, there's your first problem. You're relying on Spectrum. They have it. I guess it's not incorrect. At one point, there was an 11-point deficit, Richard,
at some point. Yeah.
The biggest deficit of all was 16 points. How is this all of a sudden all of what we're talking about today. But it is.
Who cares? They suck. Let's move.
Let me talk to Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio regarding Social Security. Ryan, good morning. Good morning. Please, a little prayer. Thank the Lord that we have Elon Musk. Amen.
Yes.
Okay, Ryan, good morning. What do we know?
Hey, good morning. So, yes, I mean, the Social Security administrator, obviously under the previous administration, decided to step aside over this disagreement with Elon Musk about the possibility of DOJ obtaining sensitive information and personal information through their audit of the Social Security Administration. This is kind of a debate that's going on in a lot of different places, the IRS and the Treasury. So, this is kind of, I think, what we expected moving forward, after some of these debates were starting to happen. But I think there's some Republicans who are kind of starting to pump the brakes maybe a little bit on DOJ, not saying that they're against the mission, but I think they are saying that there's starting to be some concerning maybe mistakes that are being made that they would like to see corrected, and maybe for them to take a more surgical approach, as one Republican put it.
Very interesting. This is a slow drip, it seems. All of a sudden, there are some. This is where it becomes a problem when you start getting Republicans who are speaking out. Now, you got to be careful how you speak out, because if you speak out too aggressively, Trump's coming after you. You're going to get a primary, and you're dead in the water. So you got to gently speak out. That's where we are today, and that seems to be what they are doing. We aren't saying he's doing anything wrong. We just think maybe he ought to slow down. The speed of this, Ryan, is spectacular by government standards. I mean, you work in D.C. Nothing moves quickly in Washington. The first 3 or 4 weeks of this administration, this is like mind-blowing. Your head is spinning.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think Republicans are still very satisfied with DOJ, that they're able to make the impact that they are in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
But I think when you hear somebody like Susan Collins going after the recent mistake that was made, or alleged mistake that was made at the USDA, where you had people who were studying the bird flu who were let go, and now they're trying to apparently scramble to get them back on board, because the bird flu is obviously one of the biggest issues facing the country. And I think people need to realize this isn't, a COVID-like illness. This is something that's impacting the agriculture industry and is causing the chicken shortage and the egg shortage that we're seeing across the country, and thus really impacting the price of eggs. So I think there is a sense of emergency to, get to the bottom of this, so that we can get this egg shortage under control.
Yeah. And you wonder what really happened, how these employees ended up getting let go. I mean, it could be very. You got these young kids coming in with DOJ who are just slashing. It could be that. It also could be, if we're looking at it from both sides, it could be somebody who's against all of this going on and saying, "Sure, go ahead. I'm going to get rid of all these people and wait till they see what they've just cut." And now you have this very important group of people that are dealing with what could turn out to be a real disaster, agriculture disaster. It's certainly why you're paying so much money for your eggs right now. So, okay, this seems to be the news of the day, though, Ryan. I don't see this daily issue of pushback or defense of DOJ. I don't see this going away anytime soon.
Well, no, because it's very active, and they're not going away anytime soon. This was a campaign promised by the Trump administration. I mean, some people think this was DOJ was the way to cover up a big political liability, which was Donald Trump's record on the national debt. And Republicans said they wanted to actually address the federal bureaucracy at some point, and DOJ was kind of their way to do it. So whether or not they make adjustments and what happens next, we're waiting to see. The Pentagon's one of their next steps in terms of potential audits. And I think there might be some Republicans who are saying maybe be a little careful how you go about auditing the Pentagon. But that's always kind of been a disagreement amongst Republicans is does the Pentagon deserve more accountability and to be under the microscope more? Because, only the Marine Corps has been able to pass an audit. The rest of the military is not.
I would ask you, Ryan, how are Republicans responding to this negotiation with Russia and not Ukraine? and the warming up and the complimenting of Russian officials. Some of the tweets that came out from Elon Musk praising Russian officials. It seems like the president and his administration seems to be warming up more to Putin than they are our Democratic allies, which he's currently picking fights with. How do Republicans, they got to be uneasy with this at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag with that one, too. I think Republicans last night were a little hesitant to comment on it just in general. But I think one thing you do hear is that they're happy these talks are happening because they weren't happening under the previous administration.
Yeah.
So, while, Trump's relationship with Putin might be a concern to some, they also see it as a positive because they're actually at the negotiating table, and it looks like there is a desire at least to end the war. But, yeah, I think Republicans are cautiously optimistic because they do not want a situation where Ukraine gets screwed over here.
Right. Well, it looks like that's happening. But, I remember back in the days when we were at war, the United States at war with the British. We were looking for our independence. And thankfully, France came in and negotiated the peace deal between the United States, the new America, and England, which allowed us to become a country. So let's see if this has the same outcome. We will see. Ryan Schmelz, as always, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. I'm sorry. I'm being a little pissy still today as I got caught up in it yesterday. The French did not negotiate our freedom. We did.
But that's why we call them French fries, right?
I guess. I just don't understand how a peace deal is put together when Ukraine is not at the table. And I understand we're funding much of what is happening there, but I don't understand how that happens, to be honest with you. But the French were funding, the French played a major role in funding our war against England, and they had certain benefits, but we're the ones that negotiated our peace. Not sure how this is going to work with Ukraine, but again, buckle up and let's see where it all goes. Coming up, we'll speak with a professor at Hamilton College on their COVID-19 study, and Hobica's free money question coming up.
Uncertainty. The unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares. The Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers. The same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees. Just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Ukraine's president speaks out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The day after his country was left out of talks between Russia and the U.S.
We are partners. We are in war, and we have to resolve this topic.
Volodymyr Zelensky also just said that no one trusts Russian leader Vladimir Putin. And as the war still rages, Ukraine's army is resilient enough. Zelensky will soon meet with U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg Zelensky wants American security guarantees to keep Russia at bay if there is an agreement to end the war. This the day after President Trump suggested Ukraine was partly to blame for Russia's invasion.
Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine.
Zelensky says President Trump is living in a Russian disinformation space. The president sat down with Elon Musk, defending him and Doge in an interview with Fox's Hannity.
I wanted somebody really smart.
Musk says the goal of the Department of Government Efficiency is to carry out what President Trump was elected to do and slash federal spending. As for Democrats calling him an out-of-control billionaire acting illegally, Musk says by
fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
Now, in one of the many anti-Doge lawsuits, a federal judge denied Democrat attorneys general attempts to block Musk from getting access to federal agencies' data. Winter keeps hitting us hard. There are storm warnings and advisories, Arkansas to New Jersey. Some areas that were damaged in Kentucky's deadly flooding disaster are going to get snow and ice. And Fox meteorologist Jana Steen says it's frigid, too.
Much of the country is under this Arctic blast. Cold weather alerts, really from the border of Canada to the border of Mexico.
It's in the 20s in Brownsville, Texas. Feels like 5 below in Dallas. The wind chills more than 40 below zero in the Dakotas. Pope Francis remains hospitalized in Rome. The Vatican now says he has pneumonia in both lungs, but as the 88-year-old Pope slept well, was able to eat breakfast. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Will New York City Mayor Eric Adams be kicked out of office? Governor Kathy Hochul, a fellow Democrat, is considering removing him as Adams remains under scrutiny for cooperating with federal illegal immigration raids. And he's accused of doing that so that a federal bribery and corruption case can be dropped. Mayor Adams denies that. Now, a federal judge has questions at a hearing today for the Justice Department.
U.S. District Judge Dale Ho wants to hear on Wednesday an explanation for the U.S. Justice Department's call for the case against Mayor Adams to be thrown out. Last Friday, the request led to resignations by several U.S. attorneys in New York's Southern District who refused to comply. Judge Ho says he wants attorneys to address the reasons behind the request, as well as what it will mean for Mayor Adams, who is charged with receiving illegal campaign money and travel perks from officials in Turkey. He's pleaded not guilty. The upheaval that has resulted has New York Governor Kathy Hochul considering removing Adams from office. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Now to a verdict in a Los Angeles courtroom. A star rapper is acquitted.
Not guilty.
That was A$AP Rocky's friends and family erupting. He jumped into girlfriend Rihanna's arms. A$AP Rocky had been charged with assault, accused of firing a gun at a former friend in 2021. Now to a much different court case in Tennessee.
24-year-old Joshua Dotson pleaded guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder. This on top of his 102-year sentence for killing his pregnant girlfriend and their unborn child. The new convictions are for the shooting deaths of a couple near a Memphis park in 2020 and the 2019 fatal shooting of an 18-year-old man in a Memphis store parking lot. Prosecutors say Dotson killed his 19-year-old lover to make sure she didn't rat him out.
That's Gary Baumgarten. On Wall Street, stock futures are falling. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. It is cold. We're at 1 degree. We have 1 single degree here in Marcy. Your full weather forecast is coming up. A building at Hudson Forest Equipment on State Route 12 collapsed around 6:16 yesterday in the evening, prompting a response from the Barneveld Fire Department. Crews arrived to find a 60-foot by 120-foot shipping and receiving building down with an active propane leak. Firefighters quickly secured utilities and confirmed no further hazards. No one was inside at the time, and the rest of the complex was unaffected. The scene was turned over to building management after 30 minutes. Barneveld Fire Department, led by Chief Kevin Kulk, responded with multiple units. He says, "Our thoughts are with the Houdon family." The department recognized their longtime support. Former President Barack Obama will be visiting a college campus here in central New York. He's scheduled to take part in an event called A Conversation with Barack Obama at Hamilton College in Clinton, April 3rd. The speech is free and open to the public, but students and staff at the college will get the first shot at tickets. The public can reserve any leftover tickets starting in March. A band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is coming to Utica this spring. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are set to perform at the Stanley Theater on Friday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. The group entered the Hall of Fame in 2015 and is best known for hit songs including Bad Reputation and I Love Rock and Roll. Seats go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at the theater box office and through Ticketmaster. J. Crew Factory will be coming to Consumer Square in New Hartford later this year, according to a statement provided by the J. Crew Factory officials. The store will be opening in 2025. J. Crew Factory is part of the J. Crew family of brands, which includes J. Crew and Madewell. J. Crew Factory offers fun, classic, and stylish clothing for men, women, and children at an affordable price. Discounts are available for teachers, college students, first responders, military personnel, and healthcare workers. And astrophysicists are celebrating a record-breaking cosmic discovery. The Cubic Kilometer Neutrino Telescope Group said they have uncovered the highest energy ghost particle called a neutrino at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. A neutrino is a subatomic particle with no electrical charge and mass, so small it has the ability to go through all types of matter without altering its structure. The discovery is significant because it may lead to a better understanding of how far and what caused them to travel through the universe and land on Earth. Other types of particles get mixed up in universe dust, where neutrinos are a pure signal that can give us clues about sources from far away. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:08. Here's your forecast.
Little, if any, additional accumulating snowfall in the forecast, even in some of the bigger lake effect snow areas that we did see pile up 3-4 feet of snow in the last couple of days, some more, some less. Now we're into partial sunshine. We'll deal with the cold with a flurry or passing snow shower today in the teens. Single digits tonight, North Country below 0. Maybe a few flurries or snow showers tomorrow with a high near 20. Meteorologist Ray Stidgick from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 1 degree under cloudy skies. It is 7:09. In sports, the NFL is rescinding a fine that was handed down to Houston Texans running back Joe Mixon during the postseason. Mixon has won his appeal over a $25,000 fine he received following the team's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round. Appeals officer Chris Palmer said that he found Mixon, quote, did not necessarily publicly criticize the officials, end quote, during post-game comments made by the tailback. The Athletic is reporting that defensive end Will Anderson Jr. also had a $25,000 fine overturned for a similar reason. Money could be making his way to the Meadowlands. According to TMZ Sports, boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. is putting together an offer to purchase a 10% stake in the Giants. The offer is said to be in the ballpark of $700 million. Real estate mogul and Mayweather's business partner, Meyer Orbach, said he and his partners are always looking at different opportunities, including ownership of sports teams. The plan is to submit the proposal soon. The Knicks return to the hardwood tomorrow night after enjoying some time away from the floor for the All-Star break. The Knicks will be playing host to the Chicago Bulls at Madison Square Garden. Tomorrow's game is the final meeting of the regular season series. The Knicks are still searching for their first victory against the Bulls after dropping each of the first two matchups. The Nets are hoping to extend their winning streak to 4. Brooklyn returns from the All-Star break tomorrow night when it hosts Cleveland at Barclays Center. Team USA will have a different look on the blue line during Thursday night's Four Nations Face-Off Championship game against Team Canada at TD Garden. The Boston Bruins said in a statement Tuesday defenseman Charlie McAvoy was admitted to Mass General Hospital on Monday to undergo testing related to an upper body injury he sustained during the tournament. McAvoy will miss the final, but head coach Mike Sullivan announced Vancouver Canucks defenseman Quinn Hughes will be joining Team USA ahead of the game. Hughes initially made the U.S. roster, but had to back out due to an oblique injury. The reigning Norris Trophy winner has 14 goals and 59 points this season. Longtime sports broadcaster Joe Buck will return to the MLB National booth for the first time since 2021. He told The Athletic he'll call the opening day game between the New York Yankees and Milwaukee Brewers for ESPN. Buck has not called a nationally televised MLB game since he left Fox to become ESPN's voice of Monday Night Football. He says him calling the opening day game is a one-off and does not signal a full return to baseball. Buck called the St. Louis Cardinals game along with Chip Carey for a local broadcast last year. The Mets doing what it takes, or what they think it takes, to outspend the Dodgers. They still haven't. They're the second highest payroll to the Dodgers at $325 million.
Do you think they're trying to outspend the Dodgers, or do you think they're trying to win? They're Yankees.
I think they're trying to win. Here's the thing: is there is this rivalry we have, Yankees-Mets, but you still have to play the Dodgers. You just still have to get through the Dodgers.
Understood.
Which even that's what I'm saying as a Yankee fan.
Right.
You want to win a World Series, you got to get through them.
No doubt. But do you think they're going to be able to come back and be as strong this year as they were last year?
The Yankees?
We will find out.
Or the Mets?
Talking about the Dodgers.
They've made some moves. They've made some moves in the offseason that are incredibly impressive. And the pitching's key.
Well, we all know
Mr. Cohen went out and bought a lot of bats, but didn't do much.
Well, I think he learned from the Yankees how to buy baseball players. But that's fine. Andrew, anything
We went
further?
out and got some real nice pitching, Bill. I can't wait to that first Subway Series. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and then the next day is my favorite, usually.
Syracuse has dropped 3 in a row after an 80-69 loss at Pittsburgh. They're pathetic. They're 11-16. We can host NC State next Wednesday.
We can agree.
Yeah.
All right. This story just blows my mind. A 2-foot-long venomous snake
yucky
was found in a grocery store in the banana shipment.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Where? In New Hampshire. So it could have happened here.
Just as easy.
Conservation officer had to respond to a report of an unwanted hitchhiker Saturday at the Market Basket in Manchester, New Hampshire. The poisonous snake was identified as an ornate cat-eyed snake, which is mildly venomous, but comes from Ecuador, which is where most of our bananas come from, also known as the Leptodira ornata, if you care. It's reportedly one of the most common species in South American countries, and certainly in that South American country, the largest exporter of bananas in the world. So I've always kind of wondered what you could find on a banana display. Snakes, spiders.
Oh, yuck.
Who knows what? And imagine some of the things that you don't even know you're looking for. You can't see it. Makes you worry just a little bit. Davey, this morning, Hobica's free money question of the day is worth how much money?
$200.
$200. Okay. How are those bagels?
Good.
I like them. Now, you are
your second bagel already?
No, what first?
Just first. Davey, you are a big fan. You don't like cheese. We were discussing that the other day. Yet you're eating cream cheese, and you're not. You do not like cream cheese on a bagel.
You're just eating the bagel plain?
Yep.
You like it like that?
Yep.
Yeah. These are fresh, by the way, fresh from New York yesterday afternoon. So these are really good.
3-day-old bagels here.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, we bought them on our way down last Friday. Okay, $150 on the line this morning.
$200
on the line this
Wow,
morning.
that bagel got him feeling good there.
Bring them more bagels.
$200 on the line this morning for Hobica's free money question of the day. We'll get to that coming up at about 7:35. In a few minutes, we're going to speak with a professor over at Hamilton, professors who authored the refugee COVID-19 study. We'll get them on the radio coming right up at WIBX.
EasyCater is the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. With easy online ordering, search filters for budget, dietary needs, and more. Save your favorite restaurants and favorite orders for easy reordering. Save time with group ordering. You send a link, your team orders what they want. Plus, EasyCater makes expense reporting a snap with all your receipts in one place. EasyCater, more than just a way to order catering for work, it's your business tool for food. Order now at easycater.com.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The snow isn't stopping anytime soon, and that means you're taking your car to get washed over and over again to get all that salt off. But how would you like $100 in free car washes? It's WIBX's Snowmageddon 2025 contest. All you need to do is send us your snow photos on the WIBX mobile app, and the person who sends in the best one wins $100 in free car washes. We want to see photos of your snowbanks, drifts, snowmen, whatever shows off your crazy snow totals. And it could win you $100 in Hoffman's car washes. Winner will be picked Friday on Keeler. See the WIBX website for details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Good God. Good God. I bring bagels. Everybody's in the hallway eating bagels. What? I should not be surprised. I should not be surprised, except for Megan. She's in here. Let me go to, by the way, the AM is back on the radio. Back on the air, I guess is how I should say it. Let me go to Mike, by the way. Wayne, I'm going to get to you. Mike has a couple of interesting comments this morning that I think land. Call ICE, call ICE. I'm assuming that snake is from South America coming in illegally. Call ICE.
Get it out of here.
And Davey's brother-in-law has more inches of snow than SU scored last night.
Ooh.
Ouch.
That is true. That is true. Here is Wayne. Good morning, Wayne. You're on the radio.
Hey, guys. Them bagels, are they doughy or what's the consistency of them?
Wow,
perfect.
They're really good.
They are perfect.
Yeah, they're good.
I hate the doughy ones.
Well, these are... how would you describe these? These are like New York City bagels.
Yeah.
You know, crispy.
Could you eat them
on the outside.
Can you eat them raw? Can you eat them raw
could.
and then enjoy them? They wouldn't be doughy, like raw.
So,
Davey's eating them raw right now.
Can I tell you, I never have a bagel. The only way you toast in my opinion, this is just me, the only way you toast a bagel is if it's not a real bagel and you want to make it feel like you have a bagel, so you toast it.
You talking about like the Thomas ones or the?
Well, yeah. Or you can go to places that are like buns. It's like, oh, I'm loving this hamburger bun with a.
That's what they are, like hamburger buns with a hole in them.
Yeah, and you're a cook, Wayne. I mean, you've worked in food service, so you know the difference between a real bagel. And I never ever toast a bagel when I eat. Like if you have, I love bagel and lox.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't toast it. A lot of places will toast it. But I have to order it untoasted.
When my early days as an intern for the Keeler Show, I was tasked with going to Bagel Grove and getting that.
That was your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what happened.
I worked in produce for like yeah. What happened, Andrew? You went and upped yourself.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
How dare you better yourself? You forget it.
We do not like around here.
No
there will be
upward
no
advancement.
Bettering yourself. Not around here.
Yeah.
No
upward mobility here.
No upgrades.
That's
Right. Keep that.
That's right.
Keep buffering.
What we try to do is beat people down emotionally and psychologically so that they feel like they couldn't accomplish anything better. You've reached the pinnacle of your life. You can't do any better than this.
Look ashamed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you this quick story so you guys could throw me to the side here.
Okay.
I worked in produce for like 6 years at a store, very, very, store that changed their name recently.
Okay.
Anyways, in produce, we used to get grapes from like I think it was Chile and somewhere else we got them from, and we used to get the black widows, and we would take them and put them in a cup, right? And we put them underneath one of the tables. Someone, maybe a customer or somebody, come by and kicked it over or something.
No!
Because when we went back for it, the cup was empty, and these things were on the loose through that store. So they're probably in there, like, you know, they're probably in there in that store.
Well, one would hope maybe the cold weather.
Well, that's why you have
Not
to.
inside. It was inside, not outside.
Oh, boy.
And plus, they made it through the refrigeration truck, the refrigeration unit at the store, and to the floor. They just, you know what they seem very slow motion. They're very, I don't even know what they mean, dormant.
Right, maybe they go dormant. Yeah.
There are Black Widows,
creepy.
I think, though.
Yes, there are.
In New York.
There are.
No, there
are in Utica.
They were coming from Chile, but
they're coming on the grapes.
Maybe they came in on Wayne's shipment.
Wayne's grapes. Yep, not good.
Wayne's grapes.
Wayne, this stuff happens. This is we are a small world, right? Stuff is being shipped all over the world.
You got to clean your produce. We do we got a solution of water and vinegar.
Cleans the spiders right off them.
Clean them, get them right off.
Yeah. Well, you do because of pesticides, right? That's
a buddy of mine said that, the pesticides alone, but a buddy of mine said that they used to take them when they got a couple of them, and they would put them, separate them, and then they would let them fight later. Put them in one cup and make them fight. I was like, oh, cool. But this was our ultimate plan, but Bill, they got kicked. I know, PETA.
Somebody kicked it.
Yeah, somebody kicked it. Somebody knocked it over, and we didn't get the chance to put two of them together.
I don't know what kind of spiders we have around here, but when I was growing up, we had neighbors who would collect these just the most disgusting spiders you've ever seen, and they would put them in a jar, and they would fight.
Oh my God!
The spiders would fight they would fight each other.
I skeeve.
And then they would own the pickle jar.
Right. I don't know. You have to wait for them to die completely.
King of the pickle jar.
Okay, interesting stuff.
Later,
Wayne, thank you, man.
All right, Wayne.
It shows you if there are Black Widows around here, you can blame Wayne. Recently, Hamilton College conducted a study with the refugee and immigrant population that has come to the area and how COVID had affected them, how the shutdown, people losing jobs, how they were all affected. It's a very interesting study, and I think we've all been affected, but this population oftentimes has language barriers, financial barriers that make it very, very difficult. On the line right now is Professor Stephen Ellingson with Hamilton College. Professor, good morning.
Good morning to you.
So tell me, what did we discover? What did you discover in this study?
I think the most surprising thing we discovered was how long the effects of COVID-19 have been.
Yeah.
Right. And when we think of long COVID, we usually think of health.
Right.
And what we were finding is that the social or communal effects were extending far beyond. And I just don't think we're aware or we even think about that because the pandemic is kind of over and we're not masked and we seem to have kind of gone on with our lives. But
I think it's affected. Certainly is affected based on your study the refugee population, but all of us have kind of been affected, right? Just our habits have changed since COVID, it seems.
Oh, right. And what we were focusing on was kind of and I think the effects on education, on housing and financial stability, on emotional well-being, and as you said in your opening remarks, the refugee population often will face particular kinds of challenges with financial resources and language barriers. That doesn't mean that the non-refugee communities who live there weren't also as profoundly affected. We just didn't study them, so we can't comment on that.
And my assumption is that these limitations, that these obstacles, I guess I would call them, that the refugees may face, just compounded the problems of COVID. What did you see when it came to education, especially early education?
Well, that was one of the more surprising things. We didn't get test scores or be able to actually assess at the beginning of the pandemic, at the end of the pandemic, how students were actually doing. That would kind of far beyond the scope of the project. What we asked were about what parents were seeing with their children's education. And that first year when we were all locked down, overwhelming responses of my child isn't learning.
Right.
I can't help them. I don't understand the technology, or I'm not, my English isn't good enough to really help them. They need a teacher, right? And then post-COVID, it's as if there were no problems.
Right.
And so parents are saying they're not very worried, or maybe a little worried, but, it's fine. My child has caught up, or they won't be falling any more behind. And I think that may be one of those language barriers issues.
Right.
And if a parent isn't proficient in English, they may not know enough to, can the non-English speaking parent know, yes, my child actually is reading at a third grade level now when they're in third grade.
Right. Because schools did report, and I guess this may not have been a part of your study, but schools reported that the kids were behind, and they really had to go back and teach some things. Like if you're in third grade, they had to start out teaching things from second grade to get these kids caught back up, and that may be more difficult for a refugee, someone from a refugee family.
Right. I think it goes back to kind of what role the parents play in the educational process in the home, what kind of after school kind of educational practices are there, or getting access to like tutors or extra help. And that would be something that we would like to follow up with, is a more in-depth study of the effects of COVID on education across this Utica and Central New York.
This is Professor,
but everyone.
Stephen Ellingson, who's with Hamilton College. The study was done on refugees. So how have, based on, it's been a few years now, and things are seemingly getting back to some new normal, I guess. How does it look for this community going forward? Has this been a major setback that they're not going to be able to recover from? Or is there an accelerated recovery going on?
Oh, that's such a good question. There's a recovery, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that was a particular question that we didn't directly ask. One of the surprising negative findings was about housing, right? And just how many of the members of the Somali, the Karen, and the Bosnian populations, that's who we focused on, are still paying a significant portion of their monthly income for housing. So when COVID, that first year of COVID, about 37% of the refugees said they were paying at least 70% of their monthly income for housing, and that number didn't change 3 years later.
Yeah, wow.
Right, and about 70%, a little over 70% of the refugee populations are paying at least 40% of their monthly income for housing.
Yeah.
And that's about 10% more than across the U.S. 30% is 29 to 30% is a pretty, like the baseline, what we might expect for housing costs. Right. So in that sense, you can think of, what does it mean that I'm paying 70% of my monthly income in housing?
Right.
What am I not spending the money on?
Right.
And I think that's one of those long COVID effects. So maybe I'm not spending it at the grocery store or at my, for transportation or fixing my car, or so that kind of like the economic effects are kind of hidden, but I'm thinking they're compounded.
Yeah.
Just because, and so that would slow the economy down.
How many of these refugees, what percent of population was dealing with a language barrier?
Oh,
because that plays a huge role. It's funny because we were, and I know this is certainly not part of your study. I was in the city over the weekend, and my wife and my daughter, we went to a lounge, a bar. And we're sitting there, and the music was really loud. My wife and daughter were sitting a little away from me at the table, and we're all having a conversation. But boom, 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 this
You're
loud.
You're screaming.
And I am like, I finally just disengaged. It was the first time I kind of had a feeling of what it's like for people who have a hearing issue, or if you have a language barrier, I completely just was like, I'm paying no attention to them, and the world went on because I couldn't hear them. It was very frustrating. And they say if you can't hear, you can fall into other difficulties, especially the elderly. But I imagine the same thing happens with the refugee population, where Tony Pacini's coming on TV explaining what we should all do, and trying to set people at ease, and these people can't understand what he's saying.
So here's how we did the survey, and this will give you a sense of a partial answer to your question. So we know that refugees who've been here in these states longer will have kind of fewer barriers to language issues. And so we had people young adults, college-age students, or young in their 20s, actually conducted the surveys face-to-face with residents. And they were drawing on using community contacts to develop a pool of basically survey respondents. So the data is actually skewed to people who have lived in Utica longer.
Okay.
So we actually underrepresent newcomers.
Got it.
Like, for example, the Bosnian community has been here the longest.
Right.
So one would not expect them to have significant language barriers compared to the Somalis, who are more recent.
Right.
And so I think my guess is that even even without those language barriers, we're still seeing some pretty profound effects.
Very interesting, and it certainly affected all of us. But you can imagine if you're a little less fortunate, it's probably something that affected people even more. So, interesting study, Professor. We appreciate the time. The study's available online, right?
Yes, it is at Hamilton College's website.
Okay,
I believe it's at the Levitt Center page.
Okay, awesome.
Got it.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great day. Thanks so much. Professor Stephen Ellington with Hamilton College. How long has it been since COVID? We're all glad it's gone, right?
Yeah.
And I also wonder how people, when you talk to somebody about if there's another, I think we were hearing this a little bit, especially right afterwards. If there's another outbreak, I am not going to shut down. Well, they better not shut us down. And that seemed to be the attitude after all of that. But imagine what it was like for those people in the refugee community. Coming up, Hobica's free money question of the day. First, Andrew does an update on the news, which is coming right up at WIBX.
The President's Day sales are on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Purple, and Puffy. Go to mattressexpressny.com for locations.
EasyCater is the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. With easy online ordering, search filters for budget, dietary needs, and more. Save your favorite restaurants and favorite orders for easy reordering. Save time with group ordering. You send a link, your team orders what they want. Plus, EasyCater makes expense reporting a snap with all your receipts in one place. EasyCater, more than just a way to order catering for work, it's your business tool for food. Order now at easycater.com.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:34. I'm Andrew Derminio. A building at Hudson Forest Equipment on State Route 12 collapsed around 6:16 p.m. yesterday, prompting a response from the Barneveld Fire Department. Crews arrived to find a 60 by 120-foot shipping and receiving building down with an active propane leak. Firefighters quickly secured utilities and confirmed no further hazards. No one was inside at the time, and the rest of the complex was unaffected. The scene was turned over to building management after 30 minutes. Barneveld Fire Department, led by Chief Kevin Kalk, responded with multiple units, saying, "Our thoughts are with the Houdon family. recognizing their longtime support. We're getting unconfirmed reports that the Lucky Shots bowling alley in Camden had their roof collapse. We're working to confirm those details. Former President Barack Obama will be visiting a college campus here in central New York. He's scheduled to take part in an event called A Conversation with Barack Obama at Hamilton College in Clinton, April 3rd. The speech is free and open to the public, but students and staff at the college will get the first shot at tickets. The public can reserve any leftover tickets starting in March. A band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is coming to Utica this spring. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are set to perform at the Stanley Theater on Friday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. The group entered the Hall of Fame in 2015 and is best known for hit songs including Bad Reputation and I Love Rock and Roll. Seats go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at the theater box office or through Ticketmaster. J. Crew Factory store will be coming to Consumer Square in New Hartford later this year. A statement from J. Crew Factory officials say the store will be opening in 2025. J. Crew Factory is part of the J. Crew family of brands, which includes J. Crew and Madewell. J. Crew Factory offers fun, classic, and stylish clothing for men, women, and children at an affordable price. Discounts are available for teachers, college students, first responders, military personnel, and healthcare workers. Governor Kathy Hochul on Tuesday announced preparations to potentially utilize members of the New York National Guard to protect correction officers who are currently on the job. Individuals in Department of Corrections facilities and the communities surrounding these correctional facilities. The move comes as some corrections officers at both Collins and Elmira correctional facilities, as well as the Auburn Correctional Facility, have refused to enter their respective facilities for scheduled work shifts and instead engaging in a wildcat strike, which has not been approved by their union. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:37. Here's your forecast.
Little, if any, additional accumulating snowfall in the forecast, even in some of the bigger lake effect snow areas that we did see pile up 3-4 feet of snow in the last couple of days, some more, some less. Now we're into partial sunshine. We'll deal with the cold with a flurry or a passing snow shower today in the teens. Single digits tonight, North Country below 0. Maybe a few flurries or snow showers tomorrow with a high near 20. Meteorologist Ray Stijik from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, it's 1 degree under cloudy skies at 7:38.
It's a 1 degree on the radio.
It's a 1 degree here.
I was watching the SNL special, the 50th special. Kicked off with a Lawrence Welk bit, which reminded me to go back to One Toke Over the Line, when Lawrence Welk, and you know those
oh, I love it.
All those young singers back in the early 70s were like, we're going to pull a fast one on Lawrence. So he came out and said, and now here's a wonderful spiritual tune called One Toke Over the Line, Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, because of the sweet Jesus.
And they were, the dancers were smiling at the end. I know they would have anyway, but I kind of think they knew they
I'd say play the song, but with the new demand by artists, we might have to pay Brewer and Shipley.
We have to pay. By the way, that'll be a part on, there's a piece that we're a part of. Ryan Nobles is doing it. It's on the Today Show. It'll happen, and we'll air it. I'll have audio. I'll air it for you coming up next hour. And then we'll talk to Ryan about it as well. I believe he's interviewing also Boys to Men. Bum, bum, bum. That's coming up next hour. Davey, what number caller are you looking for? 6. 315-736-0186 is the number. 315-736-0186. Hobica's free money question of the day is right now. After that, we're going to talk to Nate Locke, who's with the New York State Corrections system. He's an officer, and he is sounding the alarm. There are problems. Certainly we know there are problems, but I don't think people realize how dangerous the situation is for corrections officers and how it has been. And a lot of that is because of some of these new rules, regulations, and laws coming out of Albany. We'll get to all of it. Hobica's free money question is next. Caller number 6 at WIBX.
Think you know history? Think again. Journey through time and explore rare one-of-a-kind artifacts that span from the Revolutionary War to present day. Don't just read about history, experience it at Sticks and Stones Museum in West Winfield. Open Sunday 10 to 3.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission. A hand up, not a handout.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
And now, here we go with a wonderful gospel song.
One toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. Sitting downtown in a railway station, one toke over the line. Waiting for the train that goes home, sweet Mary, hoping that the train is on time. Sitting downtown in a railway station, one toke over the line.
There you go. All right, enough of that.
Sweet Mary, sweet Jesus.
Yes. This was all very, very religious, spiritual.
Thank you. That was very religious.
On the line right now is Mark Storm. Mark is ready to compete for Hobica's free money question of the day. Good morning, Mark. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
We're going to do this $200. Me and you are going to split it. Okay? We got it all worked out. It's all worked out. He knows the question, knows the answer. We're all good. Yeah, none of that's true. Are you ready, Mark?
Absolutely.
All right. This is from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, at 315-724-1600 for any of your legal needs. You'll have 7 seconds to answer this question. And Andrew, here we go. And Mark, here we go. Kentucky Fried Chicken is moving its headquarters to Texas. KFC is owned by this company. Ready, go.
Pepsi-Cola.
Is KFC owned by Pepsi-Cola?
Pepsi-Cola, Nola.
Yeah. I think it's a Japanese or Chinese company.
Yum Brands.
Maybe it's
I think it's just
a
because
Texas company.
Maybe just because like Yum, like the food's
Yum.
good.
Yeah, it's Yum brands. And the only reason I threw that one out there, thinking you might be able to pull it off, is it's in the news today. Can you believe Kentucky Fried Chicken is moving from Kentucky
to Texas?
That is just unbelievable.
Texas
Fried Chicken.
We're gonna give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a gift card good at any of the properties associated with the Comets and Adirondack Bank Center and Nexus, 72 Tavern and Grill, Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, etc., etc. So it's $25 gift card. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Thank you. Appreciate
All
it.
right, Mark. Thanks so
when
much.
I asked for a comment, Mitch McConnell said, I can't say it. It's not good for my heart.
Mitch, I didn't know you could make it to Central New York.
He can't
You
be
sound
happy.
amazing.
He cannot be happy with this move. Think about it. We were all upset when Remington moved their corporate offices to wherever it was.
The Carolinas.
Can you imagine Kentucky?
I'm speechless. I'm going to freeze up for a little bit.
Why don't you freeze up, and that'll allow me to move on. On the line right now is Nate Locke. He's a New York State Corrections Officer. And there are strikes that are brewing up around the state. The governor talking about bringing in the National Guard to replace those people. They are trying to sound the alarm on a very dangerous work environment that is happening in prisons today. And it's for everybody involved. Nate Locke, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good morning.
So what can you tell us? What do you want people to know?
Well, the corrections officers really don't have a voice because it's part of their employment contract that they don't talk to media outlets.
Right.
So really the whole story is never going to get told unless somebody just does it.
Is that you?
I don't know if that's me, but I don't know if I speak for everyone, but I can tell you what I've personally seen in 15 years.
Okay.
Now, Nate,
I want to hear what
sorry.
he's about to tell us what he's seen. What have you seen?
Well, I think I speak for everybody when I say that I've seen the department has kind of slowly deteriorated for years based on an eroding disciplinary system. And a lot of that comes from you have bills being introduced to change the department to reduce disciplinary to benefit the inmates.
Yeah.
And a lot of that you see, like Senator Salazar is co-author of the HALT bill. And to this day, she's still authoring bills to change the department, to change and remove all the tools that we use to control the violence, to control drugs, to control the things that are really making the things dangerous and cause a lot of the problems that a lot of these officers are standing up for right now.
So it's not just the inability to put somebody into solitary confinement or isolation or whatever the appropriate term is for it now. You referenced the ability to help control the flow of drugs. Can you talk about how the HALT Act does that?
Well, the HALT Act really doesn't allow us to deter it in any way. There's some other... We lost the ability to conduct like drug testing through our NARC2 system through a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that drug testing now falls on like our OSI department. And they're not, I'm not laying blame on them, but we don't have the ability to directly test drugs right in our facilities until we send it out to them.
Yeah. Which certainly takes time.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, go ahead.
And they don't have the ability to live monitor every situation that we have going on in our facilities.
Right.
They have to kind of pool their resources and determine what's priority and what's not.
Obviously, I assume you feel this way, that you would condemn what was going on at Marcy that resulted in the death of that inmate.
I don't think anyone is standing up and screaming from the rooftops that we want to condone that type of behavior.
Right.
And I want to make sure that we don't try to draw, because that already seems to be happening. We're drawing a connection between the Marcy incident and the strikes just based on the timeliness of our situation. I think what we're trying to push is that a lot of the HALT Act can be attributed to some of the root causes for situations like that.
It's funny because it's not funny. Wrong word. When this first happened, we talked about this on the very first day when the story came out.
Yeah.
And I said, obviously, this is horrible. These people involved in this should...
Inexcusable.
It's inexcusable. They should be prosecuted, no doubt. However, we should also look very carefully at the root cause. And all of these rules and new regulations, which really give the inmates this ability to have the confidence to be able to act out, to be able to act against COs. This is lending to exactly what happened in Marcy, and you're telling me that you agree with that.
Well, I believe that under the old policies pre-HALT, that the first incident involving an altercation in a dorm, that Robert Brooks would have been sent to a small SHU and been by himself for a little while until his hearing was completed and his sanctions were imposed.
Right.
He would have never been in that situation in the first place.
I do think that and I'm not sure we will, by the way, the way this New York seems to operate is we're going to try to put some Band-Aids and some fixes and say we fixed the problem when we will never dig in to find the root cause. And I think that's a problem, and I'm assuming that's a big part of why. So if there's any connection to what happened in Marcy, this would be the connection, is that you really have to dig in to find why these things are happening, because a dangerous environment is being created for everyone involved.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Okay.
The data that docs posts publicly on their webpage is pretty plain to read, and it shows exactly that. When you see the HALT Act take place, 2019, 2020, it's right after we get done dealing with COVID, you start to see a massive uptick in assaults on staff, a massive uptick in assaults on incarcerated individuals. And in terms of cost, every single one of those incidents come with a price tag, a bill. These guys are going to outside hospital to get treatment. Officers are being hired for overtime to cover those posts. Aftercare, long-term care, things like that, all of those things have a price, not to mention simply just to cover the cost of complying with the HALT Act in the first place. The construction that's had to be done statewide is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think it's pretty safe to say that in every facility, the cost in terms of overtime is in the hundreds of millions of dollars statewide as well.
Sure. We're speaking with Nate Locke. He's with the State Corrections Department. He's an officer. And then you were about to say, and then?
Obviously, we have to have a corrective action after the Marcy incident. And I'm not arguing against that. I'm saying the cost is there. We're talking, Governor Hochul is saying she's going to dedicate $400 million to her corrective action plan, which is going to include body cams and fixed cameras and hiring more staff. Again, I just think that we're reacting to the problem instead of listening to the officers that have been telling us for years that the problem is there. It's going to continue to be there, and it's not working.
Well, and I don't think you can throw money at a problem that's kind of boiled down to the fact that recruiting has been an issue for several years. And other corrections officers I've talked to have said because of the difficulties within the workplace and in the job, that's the source of the hiring problems that the state has. I don't know that you can, say, oh, we're going to hire more people. Well, you got to hire them. You can't hire people now. But my question too is, Nate, why hasn't NYSCOBA taken action as far as possibly organizing a strike within the union? Is that because they're already under a certain contract? I guess I don't understand how that works.
Are you in a collective bargaining situation?
NYSCOBA is legally bound. They're in a position where they cannot participate.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't condone. They can't do any of that. They're legally bound not to do any of that. They can be subject to massive fines, and any participation by union stewards is criminal.
I would wonder why it is that we make this mistake over and over again. We correct problems in Albany, and we do it without including all parties, without sitting down and understanding the issue. I mean, the one thing that probably is glaring at us is how can you make decisions to fix a system when you refuse to sit down with the people who are on the ground? I don't understand that.
Unfortunately, the state has a long history. Every time that we allow politics to infiltrate the prison system, you end up in exactly the position we're in now. You look back to Attica, the Coxsackie riots. Any of our major uprisings have been they slowly get irritated by political influence, and then they turn into where we are now, with Collins. And of course, everybody wants to downplay those issues until they're on the news.
Yep. Okay, we will try to do our part here and convey your message when we speak with state legislators. I'm not sure anyone's listening because I really think the upstate coalition of Republicans and Democrats, they certainly understand, because we have people here who are family members that are working in the prison system, and I feel like a lot of this is coming from downstate, and I do not know how that they will stop and listen and investigate and learn before decisions are made. I feel like we're beating our heads against the wall, but we will do our part here, Nate, because I think we have to.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to put some information out there.
All right. Thank you so much. Nate Locke,
Thank you,
good luck
Nate.
out there.
Good luck.
Thank you. And it does seem like it is an ending battle, right? Or a never-ending battle. Over and over again, we hear the same stuff. And certainly what happened in Marcy is horrible, and these people are going to be charged, and they should be. And there's probably a culture that exists out there, but you cannot ignore the fact that when you take away the ability for the COs to use a procedure to get things under control, and you empower the people who are
they're no dummies. They know what they can and can't do.
You are creating a situation where there's an attack on a corrections officer, and then there's reciprocation, and then before you know it, it ends up where we are. I don't think it seems pretty obvious that this plays a role in what happened there. I'm not saying that it's an excuse. It should never have happened, but we got to look at the root problem here, I would think. But then again, all right, next hour, we're going to talk about the Today Show with Ryan Nobles. We might just actually be on the Today Show. We'll explain that coming up here.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Now's the time to switch to PPL and ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy. Over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit lifelock.com. Term.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
More federal workers are going to be let go. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As Elon Musk, through the Department of Government Efficiency, keeps going through federal agencies, he tells Fox's Hannity Doge is doing what President Trump was elected to do.
The overall goal is to try to get $1 trillion out of the deficit. And if the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt.
A federal judge denied an attempt by Democrats trying to block Doge's access to government data.
The Washington Post reporting Defense Department firings are expected to start soon. Pentagon agencies were told to submit lists of probationary employees after members of Elon Musk's Doge team arrive. And with a budget of around $850 billion a year, there's plenty to cut, guys, including costly weapon systems the Pentagon doesn't want but forced on them by lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the White House. And more firings are looming at the Justice Department. President Trump posted on Truth Social he's ordering all Biden-era U.S. attorneys be terminated to restore fairness, he says, writing the agency had been politicized like never before. Speaking of the Justice Department, a federal judge asked questions for the DOJ at a hearing today to explain why a bribery and corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams was ordered dropped as the mayor cooperates with federal illegal immigration raids. Now, the mayor denies those two are linked, but some prosecutors and Adams' deputies have resigned in protest, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul is considering removing the mayor from office. City Council member Robert Holden tells Fox it's just politics.
He wants to cooperate with the President of the United States, Donald Trump. That's what the Democrats don't like. And I'm a Democrat, but I see it plain as day here.
The day after being left out of U.S. and Russia talks, Ukraine's president is meeting today with a special American envoy. And Volodymyr Zelensky says,
"You don't want boots on the ground. You don't want NATO, okay."
Instead, Zelensky says Ukraine must have U.S. security guarantees to keep Russia at bay if there is a peace agreement ending the war. Zelensky also said President Trump's living in a Russian disinformation space after blaming Ukraine for the invasion. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
There is a new member of the Trump cabinet, a commerce secretary.
On this vote, the yeas are 51, the nays are 45, and the nomination is confirmed.
Approving Howard Lutnick to lead commerce. Another Senate vote paved the way for Republicans without any Democrat support to confirm maybe tomorrow Kash Patel to be the FBI director. President Trump's taking action on an issue that was big during the 2024 campaign, in vitro fertilization.
An executive order from President Trump directs his domestic policy advisor to come up with a list of policy recommendations to protect IVF access and aggressively reduce out-of-pocket and health plan costs for the fertility treatment. It's unclear what action the administration may ultimately take, but as a candidate, President Trump called for universal coverage of IVF treatment and was critical of state legislatures that imposed restrictions to its access. Those laws came about in the aftermath of the U.S. Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. The president has also pledged to veto any national abortion ban. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
And speaking of IVF, a nightmare in Georgia.
Christina Murray wanted to be a mom. So 2 years ago, she underwent in vitro fertilization at Coastal Fertility Specialists in Savannah, Georgia. She got pregnant and in December of 2023 delivered a baby boy, which she immediately realized was not hers. She and her sperm donor are white. The baby is black. Still, she wanted to raise the child, but once it found out what happened, the clinic tracked down the biological parents, who demanded custody, so Murray gave up the baby. Now she's suing Coastal Fertility for an undisclosed sum, saying she feels violated and emotionally and physically broken. Her attorney says it's still not known what happened to her embryos or how the mix-up happened. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed today after the S&P 500's record high close. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time. 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now, we're at 4 degrees under mostly clear skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. A building at the Hudson Forest Equipment on State Route 12 collapsed around 6:16 p.m. Tuesday, prompting a response from the Barneveld Fire Department. Crews arrived to find a 60 by 120-foot shipping and receiving building down with an active propane leak. Firefighters quickly secured utilities and confirmed no further hazards. No one was inside at the time, and the rest of the complex was unaffected. The scene was turned over to the building management after 30 minutes. Barneveld Fire Department, led by Chief Kevin Kulk, responded with multiple units. Our thoughts are with the Houdon family, the department said, recognizing their longtime support. Former President Barack Obama is going to be visiting a college campus in central New York. He is scheduled to take part in an event called A Conversation with Barack Obama at Hamilton College in Clinton, April 3rd. The speech is free and open to the public, but students and staff at the college will get the first shot at tickets. The public can reserve any leftover tickets beginning in March. Airing on NBC's Today Show is a story about radio and artists and the possible battle over payment, a story in which our very own Bill Keeler will be featured on. We'll have audio from that coming up here on First News with Keeler. A band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is coming to Utica this spring. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are set to perform at the Stanley Theater on Friday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. The group entered the Hall of Fame in 2015 and is best known for hit songs including Crimson and Clover, Bad Reputation, and I Love Rock and Roll. Seats go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at the theater box office or through Ticketmaster. And KFC is moving its headquarters out of Kentucky. The Fried Chicken Company announced they will be moving its U.S. headquarters out of its home state to relocate in Texas. The owner of KFC Yum Brands says the move is part of its broader plan to have two permanent corporate headquarters, one in Irvine, California, and one in Plano, Texas. KFC and Pizza Hut's global teams are already based in Texas, while Taco Bell and Habit Burger and Grills teams are located in California. Despite the change, KFC still plans to maintain corporate offices in Louisville. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is coming up on 8:08.
And I'm going on a diet.
Oh, stop. It's not bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
No,
Do the
it's
forecast.
not. Here it is from Ray Staging.
Little, if any, additional accumulating snowfall in the forecast, even in some of the bigger lake effect snow areas that we did see pile up 3-4 feet of snow in the last couple of days, some more, some less. Now we're into partial sunshine. We'll deal with the cold with a flurry or passing snow shower today in the teens. Single digits tonight, North Country below 0. Maybe a few flurries or snow showers tomorrow with a high near 20. Meteorologist Ray Staging from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now it's 3 degrees under partly cloudy skies at 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The NFL is rescinding a fine that was handed down to Houston Texans running back Joe Mixon during the postseason. Mixon has won his appeal over a $25,000 fine he received following the team's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round. Appeals officer Chris Palmer said he found Mixon did not necessarily publicly criticize the officials during post-game comments made by the tailback. The Athletic is reporting that defensive end Will Anderson Jr. also had a $25,000 fine overturned for a similar reason. Money could be making his way to the Meadowlands. According to TMZ Sports, boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. is putting together an offer to purchase a 10% stake in the Giants. The offer is said to be in the ballpark of $700 million. Real estate mogul and Mayweather's business partner Meyer Orbach said he and his partners are always looking at different opportunities, including ownership of sports teams. The plan is to submit the proposal soon. The Knicks return to the hardwood tomorrow night after enjoying some time away during the All-Star break. The Knicks will be playing host to the Chicago Bulls at Madison Square Garden. New York is second in the Atlantic Division at 36-18. The Nets are hoping to extend their winning streak to 4. Brooklyn returns from the All-Star break tomorrow night when it hosts the Cleveland Cavaliers at Barclays Center. They're third in the Atlantic Division at a record of 20-34. Team USA will have a different look on the blue line Thursday night for the Four Nations Face-Off Championship against Team Canada at TD Garden. Boston Bruins defenseman Charlie McAvoy underwent testing at Mass General Hospital Monday related to an upper body injury. So Vancouver Canucks defenseman Quinn Hughes will join Team USA ahead of the game. The reigning Norris Trophy winner has 14 goals and 59 points this season. Joe Buck will be calling his first national broadcast for Major League Baseball to open the season on ESPN. That will be the Yankees and Brewers on ESPN. Doesn't mean he's going to be full-time at the booth, but there will be some possibilities he'll call several games throughout the year. And Syracuse dropped 3 in a row after an 80-69 loss at Pittsburgh. They're a terrible, dismal 11-16 and will host NC State next Wednesday night.
We told you that we were going to be involved in a story on the Today Show, and it just aired. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I can play the.
I was trying to watch and do the news at the same time.
Very impressive.
This is Ryan Noble's piece. We're going to speak with Ryan coming up in a few minutes. This is about licensing fees and how artists want to start charging radio stations to be able to play their music, which is...
Okay, their music will never get played. That's the alternative.
We already pay to ASCAP BMI and to what normally is more religious music. CSAC is another one of the licensing companies. But the artists don't get paid from that. So they make their money by going out on tour, selling records. That still does exist. Those records will cost you like $45 for an album today, but a lot of downloads and people, when you subscribe to Apple Music, these artists are getting paid through that. My guess is they need to cut their deal with the record company.
Yeah, they really should.
A better deal with the record company, not come after radio, which is what promotes their product. Here's Ryan's piece on the Today Show.
Savannah, good morning. And for years, musicians have benefited from the exposure provided by AM and FM radio stations playing their music. And these stations have licensing agreements that pay royalties to music publishers and songwriters for the right to play that music. But the performers are left out of that equation. Now, popular performers like Boyz II Men argue that the music business has changed, and it's up to Congress to get radio stations to change with it. When Boyz II Men burst onto the music scene in the 90s, the number one place people found their music was on the radio. I would never have been exposed to your music if it weren't for the radio, right? So you benefited from that a little bit too, didn't you?
100%. Yeah, we definitely did, as well as the radio stations. But now that that's not where normal people find their music from, it's about time to pay people.
They argue it's time the compensation structure changed with the new business dynamics by requiring radio stations to pay artists for the right to play their songs.
These new artists, you know, they never had to rely on radio. You know what I'm saying? They rely on streaming, TikTok, and all of the things that's going to get their music out there.
Social media, streaming services, and the internet give music lovers many platforms to find new artists.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
But for radio DJs like Bill Keeler in Utica, New York, the connection between pop music and radio is special.
Radio has been the place where music gets to promote its artwork.
Radio stations pay licensing agreements that then lead to royalties to the music publishers and songwriters, but the performers are left out. Keeler argues it's the record companies, not the radio stations, that need to fix that imbalance.
I'm sure they should make more money, but you don't take it from the hand that feeds you.
But the performers aren't counting on the record companies. More than 300 recording artists, from Carly Simon to Jelly Roll, joined Boyz II Men in sending a letter to Congress pushing for the change. While Wanya, Nate, and Sean went all over Capitol Hill, meeting with senators and House leaders to make their case.
Congress loves this stuff, right?
It's only now in 2025 that people are actually seeing it, acknowledging it, and trying to right those wrongs.
hoping to find a balance that everyone can benefit from so the music will live on.
Boys to Men, ABC, BBD.
And as for Boyz II Men, they remain the #1 selling R&B group of all time with 27 million records sold. They told me they're done making new music, but they still have an active tour schedule, performing 70 to 80 times a year, and of course, lobbying Congress in their spare time. Savannah.
All right, Ryan, thank you.
Righting the wrongs? Where have they been wrong?
I'm going to tell you right now, let's make this commitment. We will not play any Boyz II Men.
We will not.
Not today.
Or Jelly Roll or Carly Simon either, for that matter.
Well, I like Carly Simon.
All right.
She
does mention Saratoga.
That ketchup commercial and anticipation. Remember that?
But seriously, the argument that there's some wrong that's been done. Oh, radio has done us wrong. We have to be really.
And the reality is, radio has not lost, and it has not lost its listenership. Radio still continues to be. To outperform all the other mediums.
Yes.
Radio is in your car, and that's a really important. Yes, you can stream in your car. There are other options, but there's nothing like that local radio that is going to will be destroyed by something like this.
And I always think about, they said TV was going to destroy radio, then satellite was going to destroy radio, then podcasts are going to destroy radio. Radio is the last free form of entertainment that people can access to 24/7. So like you said, they're biting the hand that feeds them.
Or like they describe this show, our listeners describe this show, the lack of entertainment. And I get it.
Yeah, we
understand. You're right.
Yeah.
We'll break and we'll talk to Ryan coming right up at WIBX.
Uncertainty, the unknown. These can be some of the greatest fears people face. There is a chance for a life of greater certainty that the Rome Rescue Mission provides. We call it a hand up, not a handout. The Rome Rescue Mission provides the basic necessities and the skills needed to start a new life. It starts simply with someone to talk to. Knowing that someone cares, the Rome Rescue Mission strives to meet basic needs, food, shelter, and clothing, but more importantly, provides emotional and spiritual support. The Rome Rescue Mission helps people start a new and promising life. Being in need is not a choice. Helping is. An unlimited future starts at the Rome Rescue Mission through your generous support. Make a difference and donate now. RomeMission.org. That's RomeMission.org. Rome Rescue Mission, a hand up, not a handout.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast, so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Want selection on your next mattress? At Mattress Express, we have Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. No one else in New York State has all these brands under one roof, open 7 days a week.
At Steve Ponte Chevy in Herkimer, we'd like to thank our first responders, active military, and veterans,
as well as healthcare employees and education employees.
Not only is Chevrolet offering $500 in savings towards the purchase of your new Chevy, but Steve Ponte Chevy is going to match that with an additional $500 for a total of $1,000 in savings as our thank you to you.
So together, let's drive and see why our customers always say it's so easy to do business with Steve Ponte Chevy on Route 28 in Herkimer.
Customer must qualify for educator, military, veterans, first responder, and healthcare discount. Must take delivery by February 28, 2025. See salesperson for details.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Amerique Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our new checking account rate is worth celebrating. For a limited time, open an Amerique High Rate checking and earn an unprecedented rate on your first $10,000. Get started at amerique.org/high rate.
The snow isn't stopping anytime soon, and that means you're taking your car to get washed over and over again to get all that salt off. But how would you like $100 in free car washes? It's WIBX's Snowmageddon 2025 contest. All you need to do is send us your snow photos on the WIBX mobile app, and the person who sends in the best one wins $100 in free car washes. We want to see photos of your snowbanks, drifts, snowmen, whatever shows off your crazy snow totals. And it could win you $100 in Hoffman's car washes. Winner will be picked Friday on Keeler. See the WIBX website for details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we just heard that piece on the Today Show. Very cool. Ryan Noble's now with NBC.
Well done.
As
Well done,
always,
Ryan.
As always, you do a great job. I thought the way you shot the video of me could have added maybe a thinning filter of some sort. But other than that,
it's against FCC regulations to alter or edit any video.
Very nice. It is interesting, though, Ryan. That is a very interesting piece, and it could really change radio tremendously.
Yeah. Well, first of all, are you going to be able to go anywhere now that you're a star of the Today Show?
Probably not. Well, I'm already filling in for Al tomorrow with the weather. Yeah.
Good.
So,
Good.
you know.
Well, I first want to thank our friends at WKTV, Kirk Tupai and the team for having and going and shooting that interview with you. So we can make it part of the piece. So that I think it really added a lot to the story, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think that you know this better than anybody, that the music business and the radio business have both changed tremendously with streaming and how that impacts. And I think, you know, the point I tried to make in the piece, which I think you did well in your interview, is explain that I don't think that you disagree that the artist should be compensated for it, but it's the structure that needs to change. It's not necessarily the radio station's responsibility to fix that structure, and it has more to do with the publishing and songwriters and record companies that've got to figure it out. So there's got to be a way to fix the formula, I think, so that the performers get cut.
And Ryan, we all know there's a history of record companies ripping off artists, a long history. So,
well, that's what I found so fascinating in the interview with Boy and Men, which I have to say, they could not have been cooler. They were so down to earth, just as normal as someone, as a group of guys that are as famous as they are could be. And, you know, I made the point to them, which we had a little bit of in the piece, that, you know, growing up in upstate New York, rural upstate New York, the only way I would have been exposed to a group like that is through the radio. And they acknowledge that. They appreciate what radio has done for them. But you know, this there's a way for this to get done that I think benefits all of them. And they, you know, they say they, you know, they're at the stage of their career now where they've made their money. They're, you know, they describe it to me as that being in the coasting phase of their career, and they're really more looking out for the people that are coming behind them. So it's a credit to them for taking the time to do that.
One thing I do find interesting is, and you can ask any music station. It's funny because when I was in Providence, so that was a top 30 market. You had, I mean, there were record reps in the building every day, it seemed, and artists coming through, always trying to get their music on the radio. But even today, you know, you have record companies that are pushing, especially in the bigger markets. Why aren't you playing this song? Why haven't you added this song? So if it doesn't mean anything, if radio doesn't mean anything, why are they pushing so hard to get radio to play their music?
Yeah, I think, you know, listen, all of these media platforms that were dominant, you know, in the 80s and 90s have not nearly the market share that they once had.
Right.
But they're still very powerful.
Yes.
You know, there are still, and, you know, there's something to be said about the local connection that a radio station has that's different than what you can just get on Spotify.
Right.
And I think that, you know, there's a connection with the local DJ and the local radio station that goes beyond just what an algorithm is going to produce for you in terms of the music that's going to pop up on your stream. And so if you've got a local radio station, a local DJ that tells you this is a great new song you have to check out, that matters, and that resonates with the performers, and they understand that. So it's, I I talk a lot about the future of media, and there isn't ever going to be one dominant form of media ever again. It's going to be fractured and segmented forever, and you've got to be in all those places if you're going to be successful. And I think that's part of what they were advocating for.
I do find that that although it has become political, it's amazing to me today that people won't watch a movie because of the political affiliation that the actor in the movie has, or a musician performs for a certain politician or doesn't, and now you hate. And SNL runs into that same thing, and it got very political, I think, for a few years. But SNL kind of has that unique audience on a Saturday night where there's nothing else like it Saturday night. But the days of Johnny Carson getting an 80 share, those days are gone.
I mean, there was a time where these major networks could put up color bars and get 10 million viewers, just because they were the only game in town. So it's a lot different. So we've all got to work a lot harder to keep that audience. And, I think that, like NBC, for instance, has a leg up because we have a brand and a connection to the community that still exists. But it's a lot different game for sure. And how it all shakes out, I don't know. But and then the other problem with it is the way that it's allowed misinformation to run rampant, where I think that's made it a lot more difficult as well.
It is we went from, 3 networks and radio, newspaper, to just so many opportunities to get your information out there, or to get your music out there, or your artwork, whatever it is. And now there's just so much that you're just you can easily get lost in the shuffle. So,
and as a result, that there's so many platforms and so many beasts that need to be fed. Your story might air all day long on News Now, our platform. It's going to air again at 8:50 on NBCnews.com/now. So if anybody missed the Today Show piece, they can see you again at 8:50, and then it'll run throughout the day, all day long on News Now, probably, and on MSNBC. So you're not going to be able to go anywhere.
It's going to be, even yesterday, I was riding a train home from the city, and they had already heard I was going to be on. People were coming up to me. The conductor let me drive the train. It was...
Megan at the front desk says there's a line of people outside.
Yeah, they're already out there.
With signs.
Mm-hmm. Somebody out there wants me to sign their peacock. Can you believe it?
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Their stuffed peacock. Wow.
Yeah. Actually, I took an amazing picture. I'll have to share it with you, of the Empire State Building from a 30th floor. On Sunday night, they had turned the colors to NBC's Peacock.
Cool!
And I'll send it to you. It's a really, I think I'm going to get it blown up and make $1 million off the picture.
There you go.
We'll see. All right.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, listen, we can sit here and talk about music till the cows come home, but oh boy, these are interesting times right now. Where do you begin?
Well, I think the most pressing issue right now in Washington is Donald Trump's complete redirection of American foreign policy as it relates to the situation in Europe. The idea now that he's having these unilateral negotiations with Russia that Zelensky and Ukraine are not even involved in yet. J.D. Vance's kind of scolding speech to the rest of the European countries during the Munich Security Conference. I think it's got a lot of people rattled. I just actually ran into a Democratic senator this morning who was very rattled by the experience that he had while at this Munich Security Conference. And I think that, the next month or so are going to be pretty pivotal to see whether or not Donald Trump is just going to capitulate and hand over that part of Europe to Vladimir Putin without much of a pushback, and basically force Zelensky to cave and concede to all of Putin's demands and end the war by essentially pulling any sort of U.S. support out from underneath Zelensky. And then what that means for the future going forward. I mean, I think that, I think the big thing that a lot of senators, both Republican and Democrat, are worried about is that why would you ever trust any deal that Vladimir Putin puts his name to?
Yeah.
So even if Putin says, well, like, just give me Crimea and I'm not going to, that's it, I'm done. And, I agree to, you let me hold on to Crimea in the areas that we've already taken, and then I guarantee that Zelensky and Ukraine never join NATO, and then I'm done. I won't fight anymore. I won't be any more aggressive in Europe. I don't think there's a lot of American foreign policy hawks that believe that that's where Putin's aggression ends.
Right.
So I think that's the, I think, and obviously there's the whole reshaping of the government and Musk's role in all of this. But I think the most immediate concern right now is exactly what Donald Trump's endgame is as it relates to Ukraine.
Well, the thing that has to be making Republicans nervous is just the rhetoric alone is anti our democracy, our democratic allies, and the pushback from them right now. They're meeting without us. They're booing us at hockey games. Why are we in this fight? Yet the comments that are out about Putin and are out about Russia are very positive. And what the argument is going to be, well, that's part of Trump's master plan here, that he needs to speak fondly to Putin in order to get where Trump wants to go. You're dealing with a if we can compliment Putin, he is a brilliant KGB officer long before he was ever the leader of Russia. This guy knows what he's doing. I can't imagine we're going to get one over on him by complimenting him. I just don't understand that.
Yesterday in the Oval Office, Donald Trump said that Ukraine was responsible for the start of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. He said that Ukraine's insistence in joining NATO was what led Putin to invade. I mean, that is just not a true statement on any level. There was no real kind of tangible discussion about Ukraine joining NATO. That was a red line that previous administrations, both Republican and Democrat, seemed unwilling to cross. There was a support for Ukraine in if they were under attack, but there was no effort by Europe or the United States to encourage Ukrainian membership in NATO or to get Ukraine to move past where their current boundaries exist. There was an effort to encourage Russia to fall back from the areas that they'd annexed. And so this is like a complete flip-flop of American foreign policy. And it's not American foreign policy in the last 5 years. It goes back beyond the current conflict between Ukraine and Russia. I mean, the United States always supported Ukraine's sovereignty and its ability to protect its own borders. And Donald Trump is, over the course of a month, completely flipped that promise on its head.
Right.
Now, is there a wider angle that he's going for as a way to try and get the United States access to their precious minerals? And he sees like a financial benefit to all of this, that he's going to kind of force Zelensky into a position where he says, we'll give you access to these minerals if you continue to defend us. Maybe that's kind of his like long-term plan. But that, again, is a dangerous road to go down. I think there's going to be a real divide here. And we've talked a lot, Bill, about where it is that Republicans in the Congress stand up to Donald Trump. Could this be it? I mean, overwhelmingly, the Republicans in Congress have been supportive of Ukraine. There is a faction of the Republican Party in Congress that is not. But overwhelmingly, most Republicans have believed that the United States commitment to Ukraine was a positive one and one that should be long-term. Are they going to cave on this too? Is there going to be, these 7 or 8 strong foreign policy hawks in the United States Senate who have always been supportive of Ukraine?
Right.
Are they going to just cave now? I mean, maybe that's possible. It could certainly go that way. But I think that's going to be the next kind of confrontation that could possibly happen. And how do you get Donald Trump to change his mind on this is going to be the open question.
Well, not only a positive relationship with Ukraine, but this conflict was essential for the safety and security of of democratic nations of the United States. I mean, this is a big security issue.
What are you thinking right now if you're in Poland?
Right.
What are you thinking right now if you're in Germany? I mean, what are you thinking now? Even France has to be concerned about this encroachment. And then if you want to, widen your aperture a little bit, what are you thinking if you're in Taiwan right now?
Right.
And if you're Xi Jinping and you see that the United States was willing to roll over for Vladimir Putin, why would they not roll over for Xi Jinping too and let him just roll into Taiwan unabated? I think there are long-term, lasting impacts of this decision by Trump that, how this plays itself out here in the next couple of weeks, I think is going to have a long-lasting impact.
This is saying that our foreign policy since the end of World War II has been wrong. And, that makes me nervous. This is Megan, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
She has
Hi,
a question.
Megan. Good morning.
Hello. You actually touched on a lot of the points that I made and mentioning how Poland is feeling. I'm Polish. I have friends in Poland, and they know if Ukraine falls, they are next, as with pretty much anybody else in the Baltics. But their other thing is that they brought up is the reasons Russia came up with to invade Ukraine. They were the ones who put their troops on this. They were claiming that there were Nazis in Ukraine, if you remember, and that's why they needed to go into Ukraine to denazify Ukraine. And I don't see those claims anymore. So why are they switching tactics now and excuses that they need to
because there weren't any Nazis. Yeah.
Because they don't need those excuses anymore.
Right,
That's the biggest reason. I think that Donald Trump has, he's always had kind of a friendly opinion of Vladimir Putin and his strongman tactics. And this is it manifesting itself in real time. And there's a lesson to be learned here about the direction that Donald Trump is going. He's always admired Viktor Orban in Hungary, who has cozied up to Putin, who has created kind of an authoritarian state in Hungary. I think he sees that as the way that he could potentially continue to hold control and authority over the United States. The people that Donald Trump has attracted himself to and who he finds connections to are the authoritarian leaders in that realm. And, that's, I think, that right now is at least dictating foreign policy in the early stage of this. And the other thing I don't think that we pay enough attention to, and it's interesting, especially when you talk to senators and members of Congress quietly, both Republican and Democrat, the one person who they feel is dictating American foreign policy, and particularly in the Trump administration, more than anyone else, and this may come as a shock, is Tucker Carlson. If you look and read and watch the rhetoric of Tucker Carlson, especially since he left Fox, it was happening leading up to his time at Fox, but after he left Fox and has now gone on doing this internet show he has, it is stark how much the American Trump administration foreign policy mirrors the claims and the rhetoric that Tucker Carlson spews. And there are a lot of Republican senators, Roger Wicker, the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, specifically called out Tucker Carlson the other day. But it's pretty remarkable just how much influence Tucker Carlson has over the direction of American foreign policy right now.
I have 2 minutes. I hate to break away from this because it is extremely important, but I'm a Mets fan, and I just can't help it. This weekend,
Poor thing.
What a transition, Ryan! Talk about jumping off a cliff. We start preseason this weekend. What are you thinking? What are you thinking here?
I mean, I think you have to be as optimistic as you've ever been as a Mets fan right now, especially with Alonso coming back. I was a little worried about what the solution was at first base if he went away.
Yeah, I like him back. Yeah.
But the fact that he's back, I think really, that lineup, like you have a hard time finding a weak spot in that lineup right now. Obviously, the Montez injury is not great, which is kind of I do think the pitching staff right now is the biggest open question on a number of levels. First of all, just how healthy they can remain, because Senga has been so unpredictable in terms of his health, and now you got Montez hurt. But then also, is Sean Manaea, was that like a flash in the pan? Can he replicate what he did again this season after his just monster season last year, particularly at his age. So I think there's still a lot of questions about the pitching staff. But, man, offensively, they should be just as strong and competitive as any team in baseball. And no matter what, it's going to be an exciting and fun season. I think that they still have that core energy that took them to the NLCS last year, and then you just throw Soto into that mix. And it's going to be, the other thing I love is that Soto and Aaron Judge are already kind of going back and forth at each other. You know, there's a great rivalry that's developing.
Well, and speaking of Judge, really, Soto made Judge perform so much better last year.
And I think that's potential for
Alonso,
for Pete, right?
Yep. I think that, and if you notice, there was just something in Pete Alonso's head last year where he struggled hitting the long ball, and I just have a feeling that this recipe could be perfect for him. And knowing that he's got a 1-year opt-out on his contract, and he would like to be considered as valuable as Soto is when cutting a deal.
Yeah. Let's record this, Bill, and hold on to it. And then after the All-Star break, when they're 15 games under 500 and talking about dealing Pete Alonso again, we can revisit this all over again.
I will love that.
We'll be all over there. Or, you know, we're like getting ready for football season all over again right after the All-Star break.
Or maybe they're trading for Vlad Guerrero at the All-Star break, right? That's not an impossibility.
He's talking about a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any sap that's going to pay for it, it's Cohen.
All right.
That's
Ryan,
not my money.
Great story today, by the way. Thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you for helping me out with it, Bill. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Have a great day and a great week. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Ryan Nobles from NBC. All right. Stand by. Coming up, we'll speak with Kelly Owens. She is the Executive Director of the New York State Office of Prevention of Domestic Violence. It is an interesting week, something worth talking about that we'll get to coming up in a second here. She was going to be in studio, but this weather, and now we're looking at more. It looks like, Davey, your area where you live might be getting hit all over again. Crazy. Can't stand it. Hold on, quick break, and we'll come right back.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
The big Spring New York State RV Show is back at the State Fairgrounds February 27th through March 2nd. It's the ultimate RV shopping experience with over 400 models and 100 different brands to choose from. And with 9 dealers competing for your business, it's the place to buy. Whether you're looking for a travel trailer, motorhome, or fifth wheel, you'll find it at the Spring New York State RV Show. Get your tickets at nysrvshow.com. Sponsored by the New York State RV Dealers Association of Syracuse.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tire's all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tire's all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Think you know history?
Think again. Journey through time and explore rare one-of-a-kind artifacts that span from the Revolutionary War to present day. Don't just read about history. Experience it at Sticks and Stones Museum in West Winfield. Open Sunday 10 to 3.
The President's Day sales are on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Purple, and Puffy. Go to mattressexpressny.com for locations.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, portions of the program brought to you by Daylight Donuts in New Hartford, the official coffee of this radio program. Coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches, and so much more. You know the donuts are made there fresh every morning at Daylight Donuts. And the Steve Ponte Mazda New Year, New Mazda sale is back and continuing here into February. They've increased their inventory with over 150 new Mazdas available. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, 5s, CX-50s, 70s, and CX-90s. See the dealership for details, and Ricky Z says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. And you just reach out, and you'll love the experience. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Quickly, Lucia, I'm ready to move on, but good morning. I wanted to take you. I know you've been waiting. Good morning. Is it Lucia here?
Oh, yeah. Bill, I'm sorry. I was talking to the lady coming. Sorry.
Testing 1, 2. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Bill, I just wanted to, somebody called me yesterday. 3 people said that somebody called me a wacko. Well, I just wanted to say.
Who called you a wacko? Oh, somebody maybe wrote in.
They called
somebody
you.
on the
Yeah.
app. On the app.
Somebody might have done that, yeah.
I feel bad for him. He didn't like what I said. Well, you know what?
We made it very clear that they were in big trouble.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's stupidity. You know why? You know, you go on, you move, you listen to me, I listen to you, and there is nothing we personally can do about it.
Right.
What will be, will be. So you got to listen and be happy. Now, what I say to that is don't worry, be happy.
That's right.
Take a little time for the gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people don't know this, but Lucy's real name is Lucia McFerrin. She... Don't worry, be happy.
Well, and in fairness, they didn't say that you were a wacko, you were cuckoo, is I believe the expression.
You're making it better?
I want to thank my friend there who defended me. My friend said that that's not nice. That's a beautiful reply. Thank you.
All right, Lucia. Thank you. And you are not cuckoo kadoo.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
All right. Kelly Owens is the executive director of the New York State Office of Prevention of Domestic Violence. A very important role, especially these days. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Kelly and I go way back. We've made our way through the battles that are known as political campaigns over the years.
And good morning, Kelly.
Those are
good
battles.
Good morning, Andrew. It's good to hear you.
It's good to talk to you.
So I know you were going to be in town today, but that's changed because everything got postponed over this horrible weather we've been receiving.
Yeah, I missed the weather in the Utica area. And was willing to come, but everybody thought it would not be a good idea.
Yeah. I got to tell you that I think people would be shocked to see how little snow there is in Albany right now.
Or anywhere else.
Or everywhere else. Yeah.
We got a lot of ice, but not a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And it's cold. It's very cold.
It is cold, yeah. And let's see. I also say that this time, normally I drive out to Rensselaer if we go to the city, and I take the train down from Rensselaer, or I just drive. My wife, I try to explain to her, number one, if you ride with me,
I've ridden with you.
You have.
It's not fun.
It's very safe. It's very fast. I'm going to get you where you have to go quicker than you would if you flew, probably, to be honest.
Probably. Yeah.
But I got to say that Rensselaer train station is really nice. Although, yes, this time we took the train out of Utica. And, there was always complaints about the delays and it was so much longer. We had none of that issue coming from Utica. It's a really good ride, I think, so for Amtrak.
My daughter was in town and she took the train from Schenectady to Utica and really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's
for like $30.
Think about that. Yeah, you cannot beat that, especially when you're dealing with all these pileups on the thruway and stuff, and we were just flying right by all of it. So that was pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
I know that there is $35 million in funding that's going to be that has been put into public safety response to partner abuse and domestic violence. That's one of your key issues, but there's more coming and investing in making this, improving this very difficult situation.
Yeah. We been really talking about not only the criminal justice response to domestic violence, but also, what does the human services response look like? So, last year, the governor put out money through what's called the STRIVE program. It's a new program, and it invests money in both sides of the equation, and also calls for coordinated community response, which is something that Oneida County has been doing for a very, very long time, which will now give them state dollars to kind of supplement that and build it up. It involves all the partners that kind of interact with a victim or survivor of domestic violence to come together and do a risk assessment on certain individuals and bring them and then bring services to them, which Oneida County has been doing for a very, very long time. And now the state's going to give them more money to do that. So that's a good thing. One of the things that's really important to me that's in this year's budget is something that I've been working on for a very, very long time is investment in sexual assault services as well. The governor's doubling investment in the delivery of sexual rape crisis centers, which is very much needed. Also, she's mandating that hospitals have a forensic nurse examiner ready to go when a victim of rape shows up at the hospital. Believe it or not, that is not a mandate. And now,
think about that.
Yeah, it's real. I've heard stories. So I go out across the state, talk to college campuses and folks, and there are some sexual assault victims who show up at a hospital who are told to go home and come back. Don't wash, don't brush your teeth, and come back.
That's unbelievable.
Oh my
It
God.
really is unbelievable.
I was just listening to a podcast. Believe it or not, this might shock you on this very topic. And did you know? I know you know, and this has to be fixed. That the rape kit, quote, rape kit that is used by hospitals was developed way back in like the 1950s, and it's not really been updated. That's just inexcusable.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a lot of investment since like the early 90s in really looking at all of gender-based violence service delivery. It's very different, and we have so much more technology that we could be using to serve victims better. So yeah, it's time. It's time for a lot of investment in this area.
You talk about, we always think of domestic violence as being husband, wife, something terrible that happens. But there is a lot of this that happens between partners, intimate partners, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever the situation is. There's a lot of it out there. I mean, we had a terrible case here, a murder that occurred here involving boyfriend, girlfriend. It happens at a young age, and that's just terrible.
Yeah, it's Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month this month, one of the things that we've been really concentrating on is we often think about that physical abuse, but there are so many different forms of abuse, and right now technology facilitated abuse is huge, and it's happening at younger and younger ages due to the access to technology, and folks aren't even realizing that it is abuse. Things like cyber stalking, even sharing one's location with somebody indefinitely can cause a long-term problem. So you really got to think, and we got to teach our kids how to think about what they're sharing on technology with their partner, as far as deep fakes and all of those things. Bill, it's just really rampant, and we're trying to do a lot more work in that area because it's really affecting kids, especially young, boys in their early to mid-teens. It's really, really affecting them.
Well, we saw this kid of this transgender kid that apparently tortured for about a month before being murdered. I mean, that's just that's horrific. And here's another thing I have to say. With this technology, I just heard a story just recently where there's because of cell phones, and this is exactly what you're talking about, sharing too much with your partner, who you maybe don't know all that well. A couple of months is not that long. And you end up sharing passwords, and
a lot of the time you're being catfished.
Well, but before, that's true too, but before you know it, that person has access to everything. Mm-hmm. Your text messages, your emails, where you're going, and that's a terrible form of abuse and intimidation.
Yeah, and it is happening in about 90% of domestic and sexual violence cases, just to a certain extent. Yeah. It is just, and it's something that we really can't get our arms around in regards to charging and all of those things. Even Ring cameras. Somebody has access to your Ring camera. Somebody has access to those things that talk in your house that I don't have because
Well, there are many of those now. And Alexa, and then there's
we're watching this German show on Netflix called Cassandra, and it's like an old AI assistant, virtual assistant. Very creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah. Well,
and it's all real. It's all real now.
It is all real.
It's all
and they're
real.
Always listening. And in some cases, always watching. I don't know.
That's what I need in my life. One more woman telling me I'm doing something wrong.
Well, actually, Andrew, that's very good for you.
That's true.
It keeps him in check. It really does. It's been really good. All right.
He's been a very nice man because of it, Andrew.
Indeed.
It all started with his mom.
That's right. Who's celebrating her birthday today.
I saw that, Andrew. Happy birthday to your mom.
Well, thank you.
All right, Kelly, let's get you in studio when you come to town.
All right, Bill. Thanks always.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Be careful with the ice. It's very slippery.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We'll stop next time you're through.
All right.
We'll have dinner.
That would be a great idea. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Kelly Owens, as we said, executive director. She's landed quite well. Good for her. Executive director of the New York State Office for Prevention of Domestic Violence. Okay. Interesting day, huh?
Yes.
Very interesting day.
Halfway through the week.
I want to tell you about the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. They are accepting new patients right now. And for us, we've gone to the Falcon Clinic for my wife and I for issues that you might not be able to get an answer to, and you're trying to figure something out, and whatever health issues you're going through. And we know plenty of other people who have they swear by Dr. Shemolewski, Dr. Zielinski, and it's the Falcon Clinic. They're accepting new patients right now. So call them today at 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. All right, news is next, followed by Kilmeade here on WIBX.
If you have a problem with your hot water tank or furnace, we can come out and check it out at no charge.
If we can fix the problem in less than an hour with no parts, then there's no charge.
We don't charge to walk in the door, which is a huge, huge thing, which has upset a lot of our competitors.
I think the free service defines who Standard is. It's the right thing to do. And when you do the right thing as a business, good things come to you. People still are astonished that it's actually free.
Schedule your free service today at standardco.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Easy Cater is the smarter, simpler way to order food for your workplace. With easy online ordering, search filters for budget, dietary needs, and more. Save your favorite restaurants and favorite orders for easy reordering. Save time with group ordering. You send a link, your team orders what they want. Plus, Easy Cater makes expense reporting a snap with all your receipts in one place. Easy Cater. More than just a way to order catering for work, it's your business tool for food.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He didn't like being left out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ukraine's president on the talks to end the war.
This Russian-American meeting in Saudi Arabia was a surprise for us.
Volodymyr Zelensky is meeting today with a special American envoy, while also calling for U.S. security guarantees, not trusting Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who just said a Ukraine resolution is priority. And Fox's Tanya J. Powers reports.
Zelensky made some of his most direct criticisms yet of President Trump, saying he was living in a Russian disinformation space. It followed Trump's suggestion that Ukraine was to blame for Russia's invasion. Zelensky also said his country won't accept a peace deal if they had no part in negotiating it.
Hamas has a new offer to Israel, negotiating phase 2 of the ceasefire there. They'd free all the remaining hostages at once if Israel pulls all its troops out of Gaza. Meanwhile, Fox's Greg Palcott reports from Tel Aviv.
Israel's preparing for